Good morning, kindergartners. Welcome to another math lesson with me, Miss Harwood. All last week, we were talking about the number 10, and we learned that it's a very special number that will help us add and subtract even faster. Today, we're going to switch it up a little bit and do something different. Our learning target for today is I can add and subtract numbers within 10 using number bonds. So we all remember add means to put together, subtract means to take away. And we've used number bonds before, but I'm still going to show you what it looks like just in case you might have missed it. This is a number bond where we have a whole and part. Our two parts make our whole. Sometimes number bonds look like this. They might look like this. They might look like this. And sometimes they even look like this. That is what a number bond is. And you are going to need to remember that because for the materials we need today, you are going to need paper, pencil, and a number bond. So you're going to need to know how to draw that number bond onto your paper. So if you don't have these materials, go ahead, pause the video, and grab them now. For the number bond, you are going to want to leave space on your paper. Don't take up the whole paper like mine. You're going to want to draw at least 4 different number bonds on your paper and leave room so we can draw some circles next one to make sure that we check our work and that we have the right answer. Okay, if you have all of your materials, let's get started on our lesson. Behind me, I drew an anchor chart that says ways to add and subtract. And I put 3 different ways that we can add and subtract. The first one says, put the big number in your head and count on. So an example of that would be 5 plus 2. You know, 5 is bigger than 2 because there's more in 5. So I would start with 5 and count on 2 more. So I have 5, 6, 7. I have 2 fingers and I counted to 7, so my answer is 7. So that's what counting on looks like. The second way to add and subtract is to use my fingers. We've all used our fingers to help us add, right? So one way that you can use them is 5 minus 2. So we're going to take away 2 this time. We have 5 fingers. I have to take away 2. 5 minus 2. I'm going to take away 2. 1, 2. I took away 2 fingers. And how many do I have left? 3. So the answer is 3. The third way to add and subtract is to draw circles. And I put 2 examples here. So if we're adding, we're going to draw for 3 plus 2. We have 3 circles up here, 2 circles up here, and then you count all the circles and add them up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we were subtracting when drawing circles, we only draw the circles once. So we draw the circles for our whole, which is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we cross off circles for the ones that we're taking away. So we're only taking away 1 down here. So only 1 circle gets crossed off. And the circles that are left over, that's how many. That's our answer. Okay? So those are the different strategies that you can use to add and subtract. And for today's lesson, we are going to be using our fingers and drawing circles. So let's get started on today's lesson with number bonds. We are going to use the I do, we do, you do lesson for today. So first I'm going to show you how to add and subtract numbers using a number bond. Then we will do it together. And finally, I will give you some problems to do on your own. Make sure that you have your paper and pencil ready with a number bond drawn on just like mine. Let's start with adding 2 parts to make a whole. My 2 parts of the number bond are going to be 4 and 3. So these 2 parts are going to add up to make a whole. To solve this problem, we're going to use our fingers as our strategy. I'm going to first put up 4 fingers for my part here. Now, I'm going to put 3 more fingers on my other hand for the second part here. Now that I have my 2 parts, I need to count all of my fingers to see how much my whole is. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I counted to 7. So I know my answer is 7. Great counting. While I erase my board, go ahead and draw another number bond on your paper. This time, I want to do a subtraction problem using the number bonds. When we subtract, we always subtract with a whole and take 1 part away from it. So my whole for this problem is 5. And the part that I'm taking away from it is going to be 3. Instead of using our fingers, we are going to use the drawing circles as our strategy. Because we're subtracting, I'm going to first draw my whole, which is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you have your 5 circles drawn. Then I'm going to need to take my part away, which is 3. So when I take my part away, I'm going to cross off my circles from my whole. Let's cross off 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I look at how many circles are left over for my answer. And how many do I have left? 1, 2. I counted 2, so the part is 2. That's how many were left over. While I erase my board, go ahead and draw another number bond. This time we're going to do the problem together for the we do part of our lesson. Let's do another addition problem. We're going to need to start with our 2 parts to find our whole. So we're going to find our whole this time in our number bond. We are going to have 6 and 2 be our parts to find our whole. Do you know what 6 plus 2 is? Let's check our work to make sure we're right. This time, instead of using our fingers, we're going to use the strategy of drawing circles to help us check. How many circles am I going to draw here? 6. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's my first part. Now I need to draw the circles for my second part. How many circles am I going to draw here? 2. 1, 2. Now, because we're adding, am I going to cross any of these out? No, I'm going to count all of these circles together. Let's use our counting on strategy for adding all of these up. I know that I have 6 here, so I'm going to count on from 6 because 6 is a bigger number than 2. There's more circles over here than over here. So we have 6, 7, 8. I counted on and I counted to 8. So our answer is 8. Nice job. I love it. Okay, we're going to do one more problem together. This time, we're going to use subtraction. Go ahead and draw your number bond while I'm erasing. When we're subtracting, we are always going to start with a whole and one part. Our whole this time is going to be 10. And the part we are taking away is 4. Remember, when we are subtracting, are we going to be drawing circles for both numbers, or are we going to be crossing off circles? We're going to be crossing out circles because when we subtract, we are taking away. Let's draw out our whole. And how many are in our whole? 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We just drew our whole. And now because we're taking a part away, we're going to cross out how many? 4. We're going to cross out 4 because we are taking one part away from our whole to find our other part. So let's cross out 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many are left over? Let's count to check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I counted 6 circles left. So our answer is 6. 10 minus 4 is 6. Wonderful job. Now it's time for your assignment. For today's assignment, you need to complete these 5 number bonds. Some of the number bonds are missing their whole. Some of them are missing their part. If they're missing their whole, you're going to need to add the 2 parts together. If they're missing a part, you're going to need to subtract a part from the whole. Looking at our example up here, make sure that not only are you filling in the missing part, but you're also drawing circles to show and check your work. So go ahead, pause this video, grab your paper and pencil, and then complete these 5 number bonds. When you're all done, take a picture and send it to your teacher. We want to see all of the hard work that you've been doing.